Hello, it's me, Lavere, and I'm here to talk about my friend Ken. Unfortunately, he's going through some problems lately, especially he has cancer. Please have thoughts and prayers for this kind, fantastic gentleman, this Christian conservative who ran for office in Western Kentucky a few times, and I hope he makes it well and gets back to what he does best. I used to work with this man, and he is a very smart, intelligent person. We would talk about music and how he used to work for a record store. He would tell me that how he opened up a new box of the new Pink Floyd album of Dark Side of the Moon. And he would tell me he was the first person who ever got that album out of the whole city because he used to work for a record store. And that's the one thing when I was younger, I always wanted to work for a record store when I was a young teenager. And I always went to the record store, CD store, Spy Records, nearby where I lived at. After school, I would go straight there and look through the CDs and buy a few. And, I was a big fan of music back in the day. Me and Ken would talk about music a lot. He would talk about, punk rock bands like the Sex Pistols, the Ramones. And also, he would talk about classic rock like Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Pink Floyd. And we were both fans of music and music genres. Not only that I helped out his business of industrial hemp and hemp products, he was always an interesting and intelligent person to talk to. He had a lot of knowledge about medical hemp. This man also had a collection of CDs and merchandise that was pretty fantastic, pretty sweet, and pretty awesome. This man was a collector of music. He had plenty of pins, posters from all types of old school bands, classical rock, punk rock, and heavy metal back in the day. Black Sabbath and the Scorpions and Led Zeppelin, Johnny Cash, and the Beatles. And I always say, wow, what a collection. Vinyl and old school classic rock. You can't forget Black Sabbath, and pretty awesome. Can't forget the Sex Pistols also. Sid Vicious is the man. He also had another album cover and posters and magazines of the Plasmatics, which is one of the individual punk rock bands that I like. She used to chainsaw a car out on stage. It was pretty awesome. Pretty rebellious and punk rock. I'm a big fan of punk rock. Punk rock is rebellious, loud, crazy, and just downright in your face, middle finger to the establishment. Screw everybody else. You're not going to tell me what to do. This straight up pure take on the world kind of attitude. Like sticking it to the man. There's some old school bands that I appreciate and still like. And I think it's completely awesome. Punk rock and goth rock bands that are really rebellious and taking it to the man. But of course, bands like the Dead Kennedys, the Ramones, the Clash, don't forget the Misfits, Iggy and the Stooges, Alien Sex Fiends, Ross Williams and Christian Death, Bad Brains, Gigi Allen, and The Damned, and many more other bands. But Blink-182, Green Day, and My Chemical Romance is not punk rock. That is pop rock. That's it. Now, recently, people say conservatism is new punk rock. Well, not exactly. Rebellion against this SJW BS society of political correctness and culture and Marxism and socialism of ignorance of narrow-mindedness is. Rebelling against that is punk rock now. Let me explain. Because the mainstream, Hollywood, and everybody in the entertainment business are extremely so liberal, so extremely so left, that they're the SJW, trigger warning, safe spaces, morons. So rebelling against that is the counterculture. You can't be the dominant culture and be the counterculture at the same time. And Paul Joseph's right. You know who's truly punk rock these days? These political commentators on YouTube that are right-leaning, libertarian, pro-gun, and these skeptical people in the skeptical community are as well. They're the new punk rock. They don't all of them agree with the same thing, but they agree with one thing. They hate this SJW, libtardic, moronic, extreme feminist ideology. And they're tired, sick and tired of it shoved down their throat. They're sick and tired of non-biased BS that they hear on the news and the fake news media with the counterfeit news network CNN. They speak what's on their mind, and they don't give a shit if they hurt your feelings at all. They're so counterculture, this shit happens every time they walk into a college campus.
Oh no! Oh, we should film it. Yeah. Oh no!
Fucking a white male!
It's not about creating an intellectual space. It is not. Do you understand that? It's about creating a home here. Stop talking to us like children.
These little SJW morons acting like little children, little babies. You know what? Keep on triggering the little shits. They fucking deserve it. Cause I'm damn right punk rock all the way like that. Fuck you and your opinion. That's the truth. These guys are the new punk rock. Paul Joseph Watson, Stephen Molyneux, Ben Shapiro, Milo, Proud Boys, and Gavin McInnes, Steven Crowder, That's Some Black Guy, yes, that's actually his YouTube name, The Amazing Atheist, Sargon of Akkad, and Lauren Southerner, and Jinx. Yes, yeah, yours truly. And there's many more on YouTube. They piss off Hollywood. They piss off college campuses. They piss off YouTube. They piss off Twitter. They piss off everybody off because they speak the hard, honest truth. And if you like it or not. You know who else is punk rock? Donald Trump. The punk rock president who fought the establishment and gave a big old huge middle finger to the right and left and to the media and Hollywood. And then, when he won, everybody started freaking the hell out, start crying and getting triggered, acting like SJW morons, and act like it was the end of the world. Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was hilarious.
Donald J. Trump is now President of the United States. President Obama is the ex-president.
President of the United States of America, Donald.
Tap on the shoulder. You adjust the microphone as you talk, man.
For their gracious aid throughout
I am
this.
so sorry
They have been
to my world. I am so sorry to my world.
Oh shit, that never gets old! I mean, they literally act like a fucking baby about this. I'm like, oh my god. And he calls out the media's BS and their bullshit. And you know what? He's just straight up rebellious and has that New York attitude like, I don't give a shit. And also, America, in the history of the Revolutionary War, is pretty punk rock, surprisingly. They rebelled against the English and threw the middle finger up in their face and to the Queen and says, you know what? We're gonna make our own country. Screw you. The year 1773, the Boston Tea Party happened. They threw over a bunch of tea that towards the English in the Boston Harbor and says, screw you, Queen. We're not gonna take your tea, thank you very much. And then our founding fathers went together to sign the Declaration of Independence, to give us freedom and rights that we can hold dear, and to plan a war against the English. Signing these Declaration of Independence was very crucial. They argued and debated for days and days on end, months and months on end, what kind of sentence and what kind of, they argued with every kind of period and dot and comma during this signing. They said to the Queen of England, no, we're not going to take this anymore. We're going to fight back and say no to you. We're going to make our own country. You're not going to tax us out of our crap. And we're not going to listen to you anymore. This is war. This is rebellion. This is me and us, America, rebelling against a hierarchy of a dictatorship of this narrow-minded monarchy. God bless America. And you know what? Middle finger in your ugly, crusted-looking face, Queen. We're not going to take it anymore. Our founding fathers left the England colonies, left England and made their own country against a dictatorship, against a monarchy that overtaxed us. And if you don't like our country, you can simply leave. Because freedom is not free. But before I leave, I want to get you to watch a music video that I've made that is, I would say, what's going on today. Catch you guys later. Bye.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Speech for you. Well, a few remarks, really. Feminism is cancer. Thank you very much.